Welcome back, everybody, to State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. It's been a tight game throughout, and it remains that way as we pick up the action in the fourth quarter. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Following the penalty, it's Gurley. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Let's put them on the buses. Let's put that team on the bus.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
That's it. That's it. Big hit. Come on. 180. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Out of the gun. Goff. The strong running. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Yeah, and that play was pretty well doomed right from the start. The pressure was really affecting him. Collapsed everything in the pocket. He had to move around, try to get it downfield. Incomplete.
Gets it away, and I don't think Peterson will get a chance to touch this one. Angling for the sideline.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Let's go, baby. Shoot. General West.
On 1st and 10, Pruitt. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. It's the rookie from Washington, Taylor Rapp, who picked it. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a draw as Goff gives to Gurley. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Well, he got half of what he needed there. 2. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Zerline's kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 8. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. They'll look to throw. That's caught inside the 20. It's a gain of 35. First down now, but the clock continues to move. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Marching in for the sack, Michael Brockers. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Looking for the end zone. And this is incomplete. So no miracles here on the final play. And this ball game is over. But, Charles, a one-score game. Down to the end we went. They had one final play in that one-score game. We all knew what was coming. The Hail Mary, they just couldn't get it done.
Wasn't exactly complicated, was it? We all knew, as you said, and go long and see if we can find someone open. They didn't get it done. Someone's happy. Someone is not.
So for Los Angeles, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Arizona, it's a loss that could wind up costing them a first-round bye as they dip to 9-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. start your week by installing your game plan.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Arizona Cardinals. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime, but kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are about 15 miles west of downtown Phoenix at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. It's certainly hot outside here in the desert, but somehow this Cardinal crowd turned up the heat a moment ago. They were in a frenzy as their team emerged from the tunnel, and the Cardinals, they're set to do battle with the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Cardinal team as they get ready here. They were losers last time out, but winners of 7 of 9 prior to that. Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steelers make their way out. The Killer Bees are no more. Only one remains, and that's their quarterback, number 7, Ben Roethlisberger.
Like 5. Check, 43. 66. Here we go.
They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
In the center for Pittsburgh, Marquise Pouncey, one of the most physical and agile players at his position in the league. A 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He's a keystone of one of the top offensive lines in the league.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Here's Conner. And right away, he lost the football.
We play to win. Let's go.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. On second down, Conner looking for space. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. A check on the numbers last week for Conner. 14 carries, 59 yards.
And give him a ton of credit. He's running the ball really well. But I look at those guys up front. That unit is truly playing as just that. Every move that they make, their teammate understands what that move means and what they need to do. And right now, they're starting to grind it out pretty well.
Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They're trying to cover up some holes in the secondary. Right now, bottom 5 in the league against the pass at number 28.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. His throw incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Here we go.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Go now. 50, plant. Check 55 to Mike. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23.
Yeah.
And let's look now at the offensive starters for the Cardinals.
We're all looking forward to watching David Johnson bounce back from a rough season in 2018 because we know he has 2,000-yard potential, 1,000 on the ground, 1,000 in the air. And with a new offensive-minded coach in Arizona, look for his numbers to truly increase in 2019.
2nd and 6. Complete. It's Johnson. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down. From the gun, Pruitt. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Off the edge, Mario Addison gets the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
Ready?
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Roethlisberger will throw. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Here's Roethlisberger. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the 1st on the 35-yard stripe.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
A 1st down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
To throw on 2nd down. Pruitt. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They start the drive with Connor. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster, and that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. This one complete, right side to McDonald.
Easy work. It's easy work, and it's coming again.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Throwing on 1st down. Pruitt. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Here's tight end Clay, the intended receiver, and it's 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw again. Pruitt. He's got a man complete. It's Clay. And there's a peek at the numbers. That's what Charles Clay did last week. Well north of 100 yards receiving. He was hard to stop. The only thing they did well defensively, they didn't allow him to get in the end zone.
And that's small comfort for them because he actually carved them up. I love his versatility. I love his route running. Ran the entire route tree. They hit him on deep shots, quick hitters, balls over the middle, balls to the sideline. He was everywhere.
Pretty solid run here on 1st down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. It's another 10 yards on that one and another 1st down.
Let's go, defense. Let's go.
Off the play fake. Pruitt. There goes a deep ball. End zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target, and it'll bring up 3rd down. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Last year as a rookie, Edmonds got more action than most people anticipated as David Johnson's backup. 80 touches, 60 of them on the ground, 20 through the air. 4th-round pick in 2018 out of Fordham, who had a whopping 5,800 rushing yards during his college career. They think his future's bright in Arizona. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Looking to throw. Pruitt, screen play, Johnson. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Johnson, oh, it's poke free. Football's out. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback in the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. On 2nd down, Samuels. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Roethlisberger now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10 is Counter. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break.
Here we go. Blue 30. Alert. Check. 43. Double dog. That's the way.
They'll try and run forward with Counter. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. They run on 1st down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now. Sean Davis that time on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Pruitt. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephon Tuitt able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
The loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Terrell Suggs in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Ready for the 2nd quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. No score after 1 on EA Sports. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. We remind you that coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football. Seems like we've seen the Seahawks quite a bit in prime time the last few weeks, and we get them again tonight as they head down to L.A. to take on the Rams. And then tomorrow night for Monday Night Football, it's Giants-Eagles from chilly Philadelphia. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Pruitt. He's going to sling this deep down. He's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 35. Not really any offense for them to speak of here in this first half. Maybe that's what they needed, that big play.
Yeah, it seems that maybe everything changes right there. They've been a little slow out of the gate. We've seen that. But that one big play, that could spark a big burst right here.
That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Pruitt. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Pruitt. This complete to the tight end, Clay. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Pruitt. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the 2nd quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there.
Now a hit and a loose football. Kevin White. And the Cardinals are in. Touchdown.
Good job, man. Good job.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Dawson tacks on the point after, and the lead grows to 10-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On second down, Samuels, and not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Now Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time it's a set. Come on.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Ben leaves to counter on the draw. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down. And the Steelers on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 16. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And that is incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop.
Let's go.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, Pruitt. And he's got his man. It's the tight end Clay. It'll be an Arizona first down on a gain of 17.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
10 Lobo. 26 Mike. Let's go one more.
Off-play action. Pruitt. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down. The Cardinals on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Pruitt. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. Credit the tackle to DJ Swearinger.
66.
Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jordan Hicks. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
Here we go.
So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. On 3rd down, it's Connor. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here, as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. And he's got Fitzgerald. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Looking to throw. Pruitt able to find Isabella. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. Several media outlets thought Andy Isabella was the top receiver in this year's class out of UMass. He dominated his senior year there. 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. They really say that he can just take a top off a defense. He ran a 4.31 40 at the combine, 3rd fastest of all attendees. And when he was taken 62nd, a lot of experts think he was a major bargain with loads of potential. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up.
And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Going for the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
And he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Shotgun handoff to Samuels. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And that's going to be intercepted. The all-pro corner, Patrick Peterson. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
You ain't doing nothing today. On the ball. Ready?
There to stop him, Terrell Edmonds.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Back to throw. Pruitt. And that is going to be incomplete. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. He'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Roethlisberger now 11 of 17 passing thus far. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger going top shelf and this will be caught at the 30. 33 yards that time. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
On 1st down, counter plowing ahead for about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. A gain of 3, 2nd down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Boswell signed to a 4-year deal prior to last season, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, do you think that they saw 13 of 20 when they signed him to a 4-year deal?
Not at all.
Needs a big bounce back in 2019 if he wants to see the end of that contract.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And you're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are in the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. To throw again. Pruitt. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Steps away to his left. Space to maneuver at the 40. And all the way up to the 45-yard line. Well, they've already allowed 3 sacks in this first half. Now a holding penalty.
So I think drastic measures had to be taken, right? The regular way was not working. He was getting hit almost every snap, it felt like. They had to try and keep him upright.
Third and 10 wasn't going to be easy. Now after the holding penalty, they have to deal with a 3rd and 20. Operating from the gun, Pruitt. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Here's Andy Lee now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The clock showing just 16 seconds till the half as they line up 1st and 10. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started over at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, where it was the Saints who come away with the victory at home. Drew Brees, over 300 yards passing in the victory with a couple of touchdown passes as well. From there, it's off to Jacksonville to see what's going on with the Jags. And it's the visiting LA Chargers who are out in front. Phillip Rivers has thrown a touchdown there. Finally, let's get out to the Bay Area, see what's happening with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And that game is tied as they take on the visiting Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This will be fielded at the 8. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Watch a slant, watch a slant. Watch Greystone, Travis.
Throwing again. Pruitt. Over the middle and caught by the tight end, Clay. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Now they go screen. It's complete. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We're into the 2nd half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. On the return is Peterson. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. So good field position for the Cardinals as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45.
Ready?
From the gun, Pruitt airing this one out for Fitzgerald. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Off the play fake. Pruitt going to throw deep for the end zone. And Fitzgerald has got it. Touchdown, Cardinals. Larry Fitzgerald. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Cardinals push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. He's knocking on that door for a 100-yard gain.
And what receiver doesn't want to be part of the Century Club? Every receiver, when the game starts, wants to have 100 or more yards next to his name. It's a badge of honor, but it also shows that you're helping out your team.
And he has certainly been helping out his team so far. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. This is Samuels. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that will be incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now it's Peterson. 12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the 1 touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this 3rd and 4th quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Mario Addison showing his strength and quickness there. A loss of 4.
Here we go, let's bring it.
To throw on 3rd down. Pruitt. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Let's do this.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Staying on the ground with Samuels. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Roethlisberger. He completes it to Bryant. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Let's go.
An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Now, the intended receiver out of the backfield was Jalen Samuels, but it's going to be 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. Going deep here for Bryant. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger. Now been hit, and he lost the football. It's loose.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Getting set to go again, we get a peek at Larry Fitzgerald as he heads back out there now. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really...
That's caught at the 25. Touchdown, Cardinals. Larry Fitzgerald, 85 yards. And the Cardinals push further out in front.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Dawson able to connect on the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
Now it's Connor. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Third down just got a lot tougher. That will officially go as a loss of 7. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Robert Kimdichie in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And our focus now moves on to Larry Fitzgerald. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, Alpha, let's go get it.
Operating from the gun. Pruitt. He's going to take a shot right away for the end. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Andy Isabella with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cardinals push further out in front.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Have 3 touchdown passes. You're right. He looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
And it's no good. No, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Complete to Bryant. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Play action. Now Roethlisberger. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside. They're probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Give the tackle to Hassan Reddick.
43 is the mic. 43 is the mic. Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time.
On 2nd and 9. Roethlisberger. Bryant has it. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 31-yard line.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Now Conner. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
Watch the pass.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Roethlisberger. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Jordan Hicks. He continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Pruitt. He's got a man complete. It's Clay. That goes for 14 yards. 1st down, Cardinals. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Looking to throw. Pruitt. He sets to fire, and that's caught inside the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It was Joe Hayden, the former Pro Bowler, that came up to get him down. 2nd and 6. And Fitzgerald has got it. Touchdown, Cardinals. Larry Fitzgerald. His third touchdown of the game, number 16 on the season, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
So whatever happened to rookie quarterbacks taking time to adjust to life in the NFL? Because this guy looks like he's been doing it for about, 7 years? 4 touchdown passes? That's not something rookies are supposed to be doing with the ease in which he's doing it.
Dawson tacks on the point after, and that will extend this big lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
We got this.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Hicks in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Roethlisberger will hand the counter. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Now Ben on 3rd and long. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And this will be caught at the 30. A big play. Smith-Schuster on the throw from Big Ben. 56 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
What's that? Black 20. Now bell. Check.
On second and 11 now. Roethlisberger. Open man is Switzer, complete. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down.
Like I said.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That is caught. It's Juju for the Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Operating from the gun. Pruitt. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Javon Hargrave in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went back. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
A big kick that time, 52 yards.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
And the Steelers set to take the field. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try to cut down the length of the drive.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Roethlisberger. And this is incomplete. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. Then the Cardinals will now take over with excellent field position. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. Again, it's Johnson. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle. 55.
From the gun on 3rd down. Pruitt. And that is incomplete.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys, because the offensive guys are always taught, find the 1st down sticks and make the play. On defense, what do you want to do? Guard the 1st down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They were able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the 1st down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Let's go. 70, Indy. Ready?
To throw on 2nd down. Pruitt. He'll let this go for the end zone. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And this throw will be intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell, just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's the 2nd and 7. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephon Tuitt, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Trying to lay one up deep. They've got his man complete. A big-time play there by the Cardinals. 42 yards.
Let's go now.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Running from the gun, Johnson. 2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
And this is caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
198. Watch 98. 98.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. Back to throw. Pruitt under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Bud Dupree with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This is a 26-yard attempt. And he pushed it. Pushed it from short distance, wide right. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that